Hello and welcome back to Pentiment, a medieval narrative adventure game. I am in the middle of Act 3, where I am playing as Magdalene Druckerin the printer's daughter, rather than Andreas Maler the artist. In the previous episode, I took a closer look at the shadowy figure who almost dropped a rock on my head in the salt mines. I tried to read an old history book about the village of Tassing that I got from Brigitte. She had kept it after Martin stole it from the Baron in Act 1. I wrote letters to Matthew, the former sacristan of Kearsarge Abbey, and my friend Esther, read their replies, and talked to Dr. Stolz, who said he was short on medical supplies due to war and weather. Both Baltus and Dr. Stolz were too busy to help me try to translate the Latin history book. I learned more about Elsa Muller's tragic past, talked to Martha and Carl, and found out that Carl's son Anton died when the Duke's men stormed Tassing at the end of Act 2. Stopped by the Golden Hand Inn, where I talked to Killian, Hannah, and Nico, met some musicians on their way to a competition, and agreed to pick up Hannah's birthday treats from Gret the baker after I finished searching the Abbey ruins. I need to talk to Sister Gertrude and Father Thomas about the history of the Abbey and possibly helping me translate the Latin book. Let's see what happens next in Pentiment. Alright, I should talk to Sister Gertrude since she was a Benedictine nun at Kearsarge before the poor Clares arrived. She would be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. Excellent. I can't seem to get into the ruins of the Abbey, so let's go talk to Sister Gertrude. Maybe after I talk to her, I'll be able to get in. God bless you, Magdalene. Hello, sister. I have a favor to ask of you. Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can. I have a book, the History Tassier, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it? Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene. That's all right, sister. I'll have to find another way. Well, I've already asked Dr. Stolz and Baltus, and they're both too busy. So I guess that just leaves Father Thomas. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rat House mural. Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away. No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kearsarge, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of Tassing's saints to the Rat House mural. I wrote to Reverend Matthew, since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand. Ah, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role. But I don't suppose that's what you came up the hill for. You're curious about the saint's history, yes? Yes, I was hoping you could show me around the convent and tell me about its history. The poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother Francisca wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern. I understand. Well, that makes my job difficult. Ugh, that old bag. I'll say I understand. Calling her an old bag probably wouldn't get me very far. However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life, Ah, yes, I see. Well, I suppose exploring all of my options can't hurt. I have always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion. Yeah, I'll say exploring all of my options can't hurt. Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go see Mother Francisca now? Yes, let's go. No, I have other things to do first. Well, I'm not really sure how this game is keeping track of time and what's going to happen. If I go in and talk to the nuns, am I going to run out of time to go and pick up the treats I'm supposed to pick up from the baker? And I do want to explore the Abbey, but I can't seem to get into the Abbey ruins. So, well, I'm going to say I have other things to do. I'm going to go stop by the baker's first. Very well. Come and find me if you change your mind. God bless you, Magdalene. Well, how the heck am I going to get into the Abbey ruins? Dang it. The sun's about to set. I'm running out of time. Alright, let's go ahead and pick up the treats and we can cross that off our list. God bless you, Magdalene, darling. And you as well, Gret. Nico sent me to fetch Hannah's birthday gift. Of course, I have it right here. I'm rather happy with how it came out. One of my best, I think. Ulrich would have been proud. I've always loved your pastries. They're delicious. All the process needs is plenty of love and care put into it, and God's grace. And honey. Off you go then. Nico is waiting. Give them my best wishes. Until later. Alright, we'll take this back to the inn. And then I'll go spend the afternoon talking to the nuns. Good to see you, Magdalene. Were you able to stop by the Albans? I have Hannah's pastry here. Gret sends her best wishes. Perfect. Hannah will love this. Thank you, Magdalene. It's the little things, you know. I'm glad I could help. Hannah told me you asked my dad for advice once. Ooh, yeah, let's pursue that line of talk. No point denying it, I suppose. Your dad's a stoic one, but he has his wisdoms. You know, we haven't always been good to each other, me and Hannah. But after the revolt, things had to change. I try to find ways to show her I appreciate her now. The Golden Hand would fall down without her seems like a lot of work. No, I'll say the Golden Hand would fall down without her. And she knows it. I want her to know that I know it too. I've kept you too long. Thank you again for the help, Magdalene. Until later, Nico. Okay, I'm not really sure what purpose that serves, but I'm happy to help out. Now, I could go talk to Father Thomas and ask him about the Latin book and all of that, but I don't know if I should do that now or later. I kind of want to do it later. I have a sneaking suspicion he's not going to be happy about me having that book that used to belong to the Baron, and that could turn into a whole thing, and I don't know if I want to deal with that right now. God bless you, Magdalene. I had been hoping to speak with you. Do you perhaps have a moment? Sure. Of course, Mother. How can I help? I had heard that you had taken up the mural in the rat house after your father's terrible attack. Yes, I'm excited to paint the town's history. That's right. What of it? Yeah, I'll say I'm excited to paint the town's history. Your enthusiasm and insistence is most troubling to some people in town. Well, those people can suck it. I know the council was hesitant at first, but they all agreed I could do it. Some people? You wouldn't happen to be including yourself in that group, would you? Yeah, I'll say some people. I'm curious who doesn't want me to do it. Yes, Magdalene, myself included. Okay, what's it to you? I understand how you must have struggled with your mother passing while you were so young. Without a maternal figure to guide you, it is no wonder your spirit has wandered and wavered from its nature. What do you mean from my nature? My mother was also an artist. In Act 1, when Andreas met with her, she was the one who was doing all of the woodcuts for the books that they were printing. She was also a very talented artist, so what's the big deal? I know, it's because she's a woman and she's not supposed to be doing things like painting murals for some reason. that's considered man's work and not a woman's work, but I had read that it was fairly common for women to participate in artisan crafts and things in that time period. Like if your husband was a weaver, you helped him weave things. And if your husband had a business, you helped him with that business. And it wasn't so unusual for women to do those trades, that their husbands or fathers or brothers were doing. So I don't think it's that odd that she's painting a mural, but I guess that's kind of the whole point of the story is there's a lot of new ideas bumping up against old-fashioned ideas, whether that's religious ideas or social ideas or whatever. That's kind of the theme throughout this whole game. I'm not sure what you mean, Abbess. What? My spirit's fine, thanks? I'll say I'm not sure what you mean and let her explain it to me. The pursuit of such trades is not for women but men. As Paul writes, God calls women to work at home, not in trades. While supporting your father is laudable, taking on his work is imprudent. There are plenty of young men in Tassing worthy of you, or perhaps you have a different calling. I'd like to offer you a place here among the sisters. Yeah, and I thought that a lot of the sisters also did things like making little souvenirs to sell to people that come to the shrine and gardening and all kinds of things that they need to do to exist. So why is it okay for the nuns to do it but not okay for Magdalene to do it? I understand you may disagree with my choices, but I'm not going to stop painting the mural. My dad taught me how to run the shop and I love printing. What's wrong with working as a printer? Wait, who says I'm troubling? And how did you hear that anyway? Aren't you all stuck up here? You may be an ordained mother, but you're certainly not mine. Okay, that's the barbed conversation option. But I'm kind of curious about this one here. Like, who says I'm troubling and how did you find out about that? Who's talking crap about me up here to the nuns? Magdalene, your insistence to paint the mural has been the talk of the town. Even the sisters hear something of what affects Tassing. But if you must know, Father Thomas... Oh, of course. Of course. I have my suspicions about that guy. I think that he and or Amelie the Mystic may be the ones who are writing the little purple notes and goading everyone into doing murder. Anyway, Father Thomas suggested that joining the convent may be good for you. I agree with him. I appreciate your concern, Mother, but I assure you, you have nothing to worry about. Father Thomas, I might have to have a talk with him about this. You both need to stop. Gossip isn't very Christian, Mother Francisca. Ooh. Yeah, I want to say that. Magdalene, that wasn't our intention. We are simply doing our best to look after you. The people of Tassing care for you, Magdalene. Don't forget that. If you do seek guidance, I am always available. God bless you. Alright, well maybe I need to talk to Sister Gertrude first. And say I'm ready to have a tour. Would you like to go inside and meet with Mother Francisca now? Yeah, I just met with her and I think I pissed her off. Sure, let's go. Mother Francisca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Druckerin. Yes, she already knows me. The printer's daughter, yes. God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition and we pray for his recovery daily. That wasn't what you were saying a minute ago. Though the poor Clares are separated from the secular world, we take care to know its goings-on. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and the community that provides for us. Now, what is this about? Sister Gertrude, you know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Druckerin to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is contemplating the holy life. Yeah, that's what the Holy Mother was just saying. I should join the convent, but didn't give me an opportunity to say, hey, yeah, sure, give me a tour. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Yeah, sure. So you've decided to consider my offer after all. Okay, this is referring back to the previous conversation. All right. If God is calling you to the convent, I am more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the Poor Clares? I'm worried that helping my father, running the shop alone, and finishing the mural are all too much for me. Well, if I become a sister, I won't have to marry, which is far better than being stuck bearing kids for the rest of my life. Lie. I had a holy vision. Saint Satya told me that I was destined for higher things. I don't know if I want to lie. I haven't been lying much in this game. I'll say that I'm worried about helping my father, running the shop, and finishing the mural. Magdalene, you should not abdicate your worldly duties for fear of the unknown. Oh, now suddenly it's my worldly duties? A minute ago you were telling me I shouldn't be doing all that stuff. However, I agree that working a printing shop and painting are not suitable duties for a woman. Thank God you have turned to us for help. It is no wonder you have felt overburdened by all of this. Please come. I am happy to tell you more of our order. All right, I guess we're inside the convent now. I've never been in here before. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kiersau double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe that it is not ours to produce, and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that the Lord called us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around, get a feel for the place. Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Susanne to show you our duties.
Cooking duty. Dead guy duty. Maybe it's time for me to get a better duty.
Please take your time. When you have finished, please come find me and we will discuss your decision to join. Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? Truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the rat house. Oh, you're just going to blurt that out? Well, I'm going to take a look around. Where are we going first? Now that the lecture is over, I can get on with what I came here for. Are you coming? I'll say let's take a look around. The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the aquarium, the chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop, though no one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave it to you to decide where to go first. Ooh, visiting the poor Clares. I've been given permission from Mother Francisca to enter the convent. Sister Susanne will be accompanying me to answer my questions. I should explore and see what I can learn about the history of this place. Ooh, here's a map of the convent. Alright, well let's take a look around. Here's the little aquarium. The chapel. The courtyard. Oh, here's Sister Marguerite. God bless you, Magdalene. Aw, she's petting a little kitty. And the convent kitchen. Well, the kitchen is where we actually did peek through a grating in the floor. We were wandering around the tunnels that run underneath the village when I was playing in Act 2 as Andreas Maler. And we took a poker from the kitchen. Let's go check that out. This is the kitchen. There's not anything that interesting here. Sister Marie and Sister Isabeau take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed. Yeah, see, here's the grating in the floor. In Act 2, I was able to lift it up a little bit, and I reached up and took a poker from here. Isabeau and Marie. God bless you, child. Are you delivering something? No, sister, I'm learning more about the convent's history so I can finish a mural in town. Oh, I'm considering joining the convent. So Mother Francisca graciously allowed me to visit with you. Yeah, I'll say that. That's my cover story. Alleluia, glory and praise be to God. You've brought such joy to me this day, child. I haven't actually joined yet, sister. Do you have a strong stomach? Perhaps you can help Sister Isabeau and me in the kitchens. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals. The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days? No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, a lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. What? Whoa, she just dropped that one so casually. Sister Marie, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please. Oh no, tell me about the ghost. Could it have been a ghost of one of the sisters from the founding of the convent? Maybe even St. Tassia? That's ridiculous. Ghosts aren't real. What made you think you saw a spirit, sister? A trick of the light. Moonlight must have gotten caught in smoke from the fire, and you thought you saw an apparition. No. I'll see what she has to say about it. What made you think you saw a spirit? The figure rose up through the very ground we stand on at vigils, not a fortnight ago. Oh, the figure rose up from the ground. It's probably somebody coming up through the floor, like through that grating in the bottom of the kitchen there. Someone sneaking in from the passages that run underneath the town. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world are weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath this foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground. A spirit in Curacao? Why would it come to the convent, though? A Roman spirit might be a great addition to the mural. I don't know that the council would approve, though. I really think it must have been something else, sister. This one seems irrelevant. Like, why would it come to the convent? Like she just said, because it's on holy ground and maybe it's seeking God. And if I say I think it must have been something else, that's just kind of rude. I mean, I do think it was something else. It was probably someone coming up out of the tunnels. But I don't think Magdalene knows about the tunnels. So I'll just say it would be interesting for the mural. It breaks my heart to think this spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why don't we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Well, I wish I could just tell her that she should pray for the soul of the spirit. That would probably comfort her. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Can I talk to Isabeau? God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking? As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it is my privilege to prepare supper for the other sisters. That's very noble of you. Shouldn't someone else be helping you, sister? That seems excessive. Well, she's got Marie helping her, so I'm not sure what else she would need. And Susanne said that sometimes other nuns help out too, so I'll just say it's very noble of you. Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains Christ carried upon the cross. I don't believe the Lord wants us to suffer, sister. But didn't Christ die so that we don't have to suffer unnecessarily? Sounds like a lot of extra pain for nothing to me. I'll say, but didn't Christ die so we don't have to suffer? In the next life, yes, but even Christ said we would face hardships while we live on this earth. I have chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship. Thank you for sharing your perspective with me, sister. I don't really understand, but I'm glad it helps you persevere. Now I'll say thank you for sharing your perspective. You are most welcome, child. God bless you. Okay. Let's leave the kitchen. I guess we could head out into the convent courtyard. It's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here has long been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Susanne, God bless you. This ice is hard. Do I recognize you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice. Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk. Benedicta received this privilege. Burden, more like. I have to run around everywhere, gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent anyway? I'm actually considering joining the Poor Clares. Mother Francisca said I could look around. Snooping. I'll say I'm considering joining the Poor Clares. Oh, are you? It would be nice to have another new face around. Don't let me keep you. Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun? Oh yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. I like to help the older sisters, and I don't mind the chores, except when it's cold like this. One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately? Ghosts? No, everything has been normal recently. I haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius myself. Is that how you say it? Mauritius? Mauritius? I don't know. Oh no. So there is a ghost in the Abbey? Who? I'll say who. It wasn't underlined in red, so I couldn't pop out and get an annotation. Mauritius. Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle. Christian refugees? I wonder if this is a different retelling of St. Moritz saving Tassing. Oh, yeah. I'm going to ask about the Christian refugees, because I don't think we've talked much about that before. Yes, the book said they were fleeing Roman persecution. Maybe under Nero? I don't remember. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he? Definitely not. What did you do with the book, sister? Yeah, let's talk about the book. Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day, and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it. Well, that was unfortunate. Oh my god, it must be completely destroyed. Stare in shock and horror. I'll say, well, that's unfortunate. I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene. That's alright. That book would probably have gone unread otherwise. I'm glad you were enjoying it. I suppose it's better that the book got some use before it was lost forever. How could... Oh, never mind. I'll say I'm glad you were enjoying it. Besides, that story gives me ideas for the Rat House mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francisca. God bless you, sister. Thanks, Magdalene. God bless you. Oh, this is probably the door. It's the other side of the door. See, that's the herb hut out there over the wall. This is the door I could never get through before. Convent Art Studio. Yeah, let's go in there. Cough. The workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. Oh, okay, so they're not even using it. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. We can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here. But art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ said the Father clothed the lilies of the field in beauty. Just because art isn't essential to survival means you can't do any kind of painting? That sounds horrible. Surely you've thought of sneaking in and creating something, right? Yeah, I'll say this one here about art allows us to find beauty in life, and God clothed the lilies of the field in beauty. I agree, but that's not the rule of the Poor Clares. Mother Francisca considers art a temptation into hedonism. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come in here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots, too. Oh, you think one of the sisters is secretly painting? I wouldn't be surprised if the twins managed to sneak their way in. You think it's the ghost Sister Marie was talking about? Oh, right. What if it's the person who's doing the purple inked notes? They're sneaking in through the tunnels and using the craft supplies in here. Haha, whatever Sister Marie thinks, I don't think spirits can enter holy ground. Besides, what would a ghost need with dried up paints and brushes? Good point. It's probably something else. Maybe it's trying to send a message. Now I'll say good point. It's probably something else. In any case, I think it's sad the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you, and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Yeah, that's a good point. Very perceptive of you, Susanne. Oh, what's this? Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. There's an old parchment scrap here. It's different from the others. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. Ooh, it says Mithrium. That's the word that we saw on the map that we found in the salt mine. I didn't know it at the time when I found the map in the salt mine, but a Mithrium was a kind of underground temple, and there are several of them throughout Europe. Mithrium Tassiae Dulneo Occultist? I'm not sure. Oh, I'll have to try to get the Latin translation of whatever that says. It says the Mithrium of Tassing had been destroyed by a flood. Oh, okay. Thank you for the translation. Oh, wait. Maybe she can translate my Latin text, too. Mithrium, that's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. Wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithrium. Why would someone have written that in the margins of a manuscript, and where's the rest of the book? Now I'll say it might be the book Sister Benedicta found. I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Well, the note says the Mithrium was destroyed, so I suppose it doesn't matter much now. I wonder if it was the Mithrium that Caspar found in Act 2 when we were going through the tunnels. He squeezed through some rubble and found a place he said was very ancient, and he seemed very frightened of it, and he didn't say much else about it. Oh, there's something here. What's this? These old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who bought them love them too. Aw, it's too bad we can't take stuff out of here and take it into town for people to use. Alright, back into the courtyard. I guess that's all we have to see out here. Let's go back into the cloister. What's next? The chapel. This is the chapel where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent, and the most drafty. Hello again, Sister Gertrude. The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it has represented the abbey from its earliest days. Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a Burgfried long before the structure became a monastery. Let's pop out and get the annotation. A Burgfried was a freestanding defensive tower not built for permanent habitation. The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations. There's some Latin here too, but I can't read it very well. God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Yeah, see, she can read Latin really well. Oh, get her to translate the book. Lord Kearsaw's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Thank you, Sister Susanne. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Kearsaw was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting. Even if the sisters were not here, some record of what occurred would remain. Kearsaw is unique, a double monastery with 2 saints, one male and one female, to guard the town and abbey. So the foundation of the abbey was even older than the Holy Roman Empire? It seems odd that a monastery would reuse a place meant for war and force. Fascinating to think that even before the Duke gifted it to the church, the fortification was founded by St. Moritz. I'll say so the foundation of the abbey is even older than the Holy Roman Empire. Well, we know that there was a Roman fortress here. Many things have been built and torn down on this land over generations. Who knows what else used to be here? You were right, sister. This mural will be a great reference for the rat house. Then I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Magdalene. God bless you, Sister Gertrude. How are you faring? The sisters and I have been praying since Father Thomas informed us of your father's attack. You were incredibly courageous to run to Dr. Stoll so quickly, especially when the attacker could have been about. Why is she suddenly talking to me about this? I've already had other conversations with Sister Gertrude. She had lots of opportunities to have mentioned the attack before. It's almost like I'm meeting her for the first time here or something. That's weird. I had to do something, even if whoever attacked Dad was still there. I had to do something. I didn't even think of that. I acted on instinct. I only knew Dad needed help as soon as possible. Honestly, sister, I was terrified. I only thought of Dr. Stoll's because there was so much blood. It's thanks to you, really. Without reading Hildegard's Physica, I wouldn't have realized he was so badly hurt. Oh, yeah, let's use that. Well, I'm glad she came in useful, although I wish it were not in such dire circumstances. I lit an extra votive candle in St. Satia's shrine for each of you this morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sister Gertrude. Dad's spirits have been up, but I know he doesn't have much time. Dad says the pain has gone down, but Dr. Stoll is worried about a brain hemorrhage. He hasn't been able to get up or walk around without my help. Sister Gertrude, I don't know what to do. Yeah, I'll say that. Oh, Magdalene. I wish I had better words to share with you, child. All we can do is follow Dr. Stoll's expertise and trust in the Lord. I'll see if I have any psyllium left in the convent. If you blend it with broth or warm wine, it will heat his brain and prevent infection. Huh, okay. Thank you, sister. I'm grateful for all the help everyone in Tassing has provided. I pray you're right. I'm trying to keep busy with the mural, but sometimes I just want to cry. It's just not fair. Why would God let this happen? I feel so helpless all the time. I'll say thank you. I'm grateful for the help that everyone's provided, because I am. The Church is the body of Christ, Magdalene. We are all one community and want to help Claus before his time. God will turn this for good, no matter what things look like now. He sees beyond time itself, but we are constricted by the present. I have been around long enough to see his fruits, even when I thought the devil had burned the fields. Keep faith, Magdalene. Thank you, sister. Your words warm my heart. I'll do my best. I just wish this never happened at all. I'll say thank you. Your words warm my heart. God bless you, sister. God bless you, Magdalene. That is a really cool mural. Alright, now finally we have the Loquarium. Oh, here's the Loquarium. Most of the Abbey's visitors come in here but aren't allowed to enter. Oh yeah, okay, I think we've been in here before as Andreas Maler. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either. Like Mother Francisca said, isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes, and even talk to men on occasion. And I'm stuck here, staring at these walls for the rest of my life. Are you unhappy here, Sister Susanne? You didn't always want to be a poor Clare? Do you regret your choice to become a sister? It doesn't seem like Sister Susanne thinks much of her life here. I can't blame her. It must seem like a boring life to her. I'll say I can't blame her. Even so, she doesn't seem to have the passion that Sister Gertrude and the others have. If she hates her life here so much, maybe I should encourage her to leave the order. She must have chosen to stay here for some reason. Maybe I should encourage her in her vocation. Nah, I'll encourage her to leave. Better to leave while she has a future ahead of her. After all, there are plenty of young men in Bavaria who would make good husbands. Oh, really? It seems like you don't like any of them. Still, there may be some reason she chose to stay. I don't want to overstep my bounds. You didn't always want to be a poor Clare? Yeah, I'll say that. Ah, no. Who would want to be a nun? Well, a lot of people seem to enjoy it. My father promised me to the church as a baby. Some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. So there I was, dropped into the poor Clares the summer I turned 17. And they took you in just like that? Nobody asked what you wanted? I'm so sorry. No one should be forced into a life they don't want. Isn't becoming a nun an honor? No one should be forced into a life they don't want. I'll say that. This will be remembered. Ooh. We daughters are born to bear our family's legacy. Between our legs or on our backs, it doesn't matter. Wow. Yeah, well, I mean, that is the reality for women in the Middle Ages. You did what your family told you to do. You didn't have much choice. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people did enter the monasteries and the abbeys and the convents and things, was because their families wanted them to get married to someone that they didn't want to marry, or maybe they just didn't want to have children, right? It's pretty scary because childbirth back then was very dangerous, and a lot of babies died and a lot of mothers died in childbirth. So, if you wanted to avoid that, you would join the convent. Maybe you were very spiritual, or maybe you wanted to just spend your time gardening or copying books in the scriptorium or whatever. It was an opportunity for people who were peasants who might not have otherwise had opportunities to learn things and to do things that they wouldn't otherwise have been able to do. I mean, I think the monastery system gave a lot of people a lot of opportunities. It wasn't necessarily a prison for everyone who joined it. But, clearly it was a prison for some people, so that's unfortunate that she is stuck here. My family is devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord, but this isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. Yeah. We can only do the best we can. I pray that one day it'll be different. I understand. I have more autonomy to go where I want, but I'm still bound by the expectations of marriage and homemaking. It's not so bad, is it? Yeah, I'll say I understand. I remember the days of running around town. I wish I could have gotten married. I wanted to be a mother. Oh, well, if that's her calling, she should definitely do it. She shouldn't be stuck here at the convent. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Marguerite. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. Hey, you're protected here from the plague and the Protestant rebels. It's a good life. Yeah, there is that. Why don't you leave? I think you're lucky you don't have to deal with boys. If you could do anything else, what would it be? Don't forget Matilda and Woislop. They used to be part of Curacao too. Ooh, that might encourage her to leave, maybe? If you could do anything else, what would it be? Why don't you leave? I want to know what she would want to do. Let's ask her about that. I would have liked to go to one of the big cities, at least once. I would have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife. Sigh. Ooh, maybe she could marry Killian and be an innkeeper. Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. Well, you've seen the entire convent. Oh, okay, so I guess we're not seeing the rest of the cloister. There's not much here. What do you think of it? I understand the appeal of such a small life. It offers its own freedoms from the world, even if I'm not drawn to it. I can see why people choose the holy life, but it's not for me, not without art. To be honest, it seems like a life of drudgery. I think both of these are true. I'll say I can see why people choose it, but it's not for me without art. I understand. You've dedicated your whole life to your work. You'd struggle to give that up now. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain here with the sisters. I think you should stay. I think you should go. I'm going to say I think she should go, because if she wants to be a wife and a mother, that's also a noble calling. Your family just left you here. You don't owe the sisters anything. Oh, but I can't convince her. For some reason, I didn't say enough of the right things. Oh, well. I do, though. The sisters have taken care of me. They love me, and I love them. Even if this life wasn't my choice, they accepted me. Who knows? Maybe it will get better in time. Maybe. I'll try to help any way I can, even if it's just sneaking around the convent wall to say hello. Really? That would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francisca before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. I didn't learn as much as I had hoped for the mural, but I'm glad I got to meet you. No, I learned a lot today. I think we got a lot of options for the mural. Thank you for showing me around. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Francisca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as a sister? I am compelled by the devoted life the sisters lead, Mother Francisca, but I'm afraid I must tend to my father first. I think I prefer my books and printing, and in any case, I need to finish the mural, then I might take over for my father. Well, I hadn't thought about my holy duty of providing children to a husband, and I just can't give that up so soon. I mean, this is the honest truth. I prefer my books and printing, and I need to finish the mural and take over for my father. Yeah, I'll say that. I see. Be careful that this mural does not become an idol for you, Magdalene. Just as Eve had a weaker will than Adam, you are liable to stumble on the fruit of temptation as well. Well, you guys have a mural right there in your chapel that the Benedictine sisters painted. That doesn't seem to bother you. You haven't painted over it. What a hypocrite. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days. Thank you for allowing me inside. It's been real, it's been nice, but it hasn't been real nice. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Ah, Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? I learned a lot from seeing the Abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. Well, I learned about the poor Clares, but not as much about the history of the Abbey as I wanted. I'm frustrated that there's so little left of the old Abbey and saints. I'll say I learned about the poor Clares, but not as much about the history of the Abbey, because I wanted to get into the Abbey ruins and look around. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The Abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? What a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tasting that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tasting and moved on. In truth, the Abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kearsarge was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire were simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Yeah, but the riot wasn't... They didn't riot against the monastery. They rioted against Brother Guy at the mill. I mean, the fire was definitely a bad thing, but it was just one guy. So this is what I still don't get about this game. The way I played through it, it was Peter who set the library on fire, and he was acting on his own. It seemed like everyone else had calmed down. It's... alright, whatever. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'd find anything of help for your mural inside, other than charred wood and parchment. That's a shame. It might still be worth taking a look at if I'm careful. The twins have explored all sorts of dangerous places. I'm sure the Abbey isn't so bad. Now, I'll say it might be worth taking a look if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for all your help, Sister Gertrude. You are most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Visiting the poor Clares. Let's see how this updated my journal. The convent's chapel had a mural depicting the construction of Kearsarge Abbey with a claim that the abbey was founded by Lady Sabine in 1261. I also found part of a page in the nun's old workshop. It had a painting on it of a strange building. Writing on the page said it was Tasting's Mithraeum and that it was lost in a flood. That's the second time I've seen a reference to a Mithraeum. What is it? I'm going to investigate the ruins of the Abbey to see if I can find some answers. Yes, please. Can we finally go in to the ruins? Well, that was, I don't know. I did learn more about the founding of Kearsarge. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey of Tasting? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. Yeah. Can we go in here now? We can! Look! Before we didn't have the option of entering the church. Oh, yeah. We are definitely going to have to do that in the next episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this installment of Pentiment. If you did, you know how YouTube works. Do all the things. Let me know you care. Leave a comment, leave a like. And don't forget to enter the Pentiment Lansquenet card game giveaway. There's a whole video about the giveaway on my YouTube channel. And there's also information about the giveaway in the description of this video and all of my other Pentiment videos. Special thanks to those of you who go above and beyond and do channel memberships and super thanks. Every little bit helps and I really appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye!